I have the best people. I have the best people.
Happy Saturday, and what a difference a week makes. The defiant convict pumping his fist, well, he's now on the ropes. And one of the big reasons why is his incredible talent for picking the perfect people. Well, in the perfect video that you're about to see, two key senators masterfully troll Trump's new bride, the man he made a vow to, after careful counsel from two of his most trusted advisors. Again, he sure can pick 'em. A man that has raised the ire of Mountain Dew drinkers and sectional sofa salespeople all across this great country. It's that sweetheart running mate who's now become the soft, fleshy target of some of the most articulate senators and congresspeople in Washington, as you are about to see.
Wow! My name is JD Vance from the great state of Ohio.
This is a fun way to start your weekend, I promise. The takedown of JD Vance, well, it began the moment Trump said, "I do." And now the brilliant tactician, well, he's married to him. And marriage, as you'll see, is the central issue for both the heavies in The Handmaid's Tale and the lightweights in the MAGA movement. Now, before we show you Senators Chris Murphy and Brian Schatz's dismantling of JD Vance's outrageous ideas about traditional family values and electoral engineering, let's start this video party by throwing a little red meat over to CNN and Adam Kinzinger to get his great take on how JD Vance has become such a mockable liability for America's first dictator in waiting.
There's something about, I guess, when JD Vance is putting on his eyeliner in the morning, he's thinking about how can I offend the most people I possibly can, probably never expected to be vice president. And it's insane what he's doing, what he's saying. And, look, he goes on Tucker Carlson and he's like, what can I say that's outrageous, that's going to get Tucker to laugh and shake his head, which Tucker shook his head in agreement. What can I say that can be more outrageous that'll make me sound like I'm some, hardcore MAGA politician? And this is what you get. This is the same JD Vance that hated Donald Trump just 5 years ago, by the way. But you look at, even today, Katie Britt, Alabama senator, tweeted something about how Kamala Harris should condemn the opening ceremony of the Olympics in France. It's just this constant stoking of outrage and anger that is the currency in MAGA today, and that's what you see with JD Vance.
While I love the eyeliner splash of Kinzinger's comments, it's the outrage and anger part that the MAGA currency observation that he made, well, that's what rises above the mockery, because he hits the nail on the head, as do Senators Chris Murphy and Brian Schatz in this next really amazing video you're about to see. And like Adam Kinzinger, Brian gets to the bottom of this whole debacle, at least for me. Pay close attention to the word that he chooses to use after the swear word that gets beeped, because that's the character difference that will come front and center in this race to preserve democracy and decency. And the secret word is mean.
Hey, Brian Schatz from Hawaii here.
Chris Murphy from Connecticut. This is not our living room, but we're using this fake living room to talk to you about a super weird idea from JD Vance.
Yeah, it's quite weird, but it's also offensive. JD Vance actually said that people with children should be assigned more votes than people without children, and that if you have a kid, you get an extra vote, but then you get to control that vote until they turn 18. It's weird, and it's I don't know what to say. It's just bananas.
But you have to take it seriously because it stands in context, right? Republicans are continuing to insist that government should tell you how to live your life.
Yeah, they mean this. They really do. Blake Masters this morning just said, yeah, I agree with that. If you don't have children, if you've lost children, if you're unable to conceive children, if you're 18 and you have not yet started a family, they are saying your vote will count less. It's mean.
It's sort of unbelievable how judgmental the Republican Party has become. If you choose to have children, you should be able to participate in our democracy. If you choose not to have children, you should be able to participate in our democracy. But Republicans have just decided that they're going to tell you how to run your life. They're going to tell women when they can have children. They're going to tell you if you have children or if you don't have children, how much your vote matters. The sort of dictates from Republicans to people in their personal lives is just pretty unreal.
Take it seriously and fight back.
Now, were I tempted to heap on more ridicule, I guess I might point out that they were both seated on a very nice couch and nothing unsavory happened. Well, it's the other heap, that heap of mean invective and cruel intent that we see and hear every day from the Vances, the Trumps, the Greens, the Gateses, the Tubervilles, the Stephen Millers, and especially the Kevin Roberts. Why, that whole lackluster list of mean-spirited holy rollers, like Seven Mountain Mandate devotee and United States Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Please, just go look into that wasp's nest for a minute. All these names have one thing in common. They've all sold their souls to a cheap, deluded con man. And they're not going to have to look far to see what the return on that investment will be.
Your Vice President, Mike Pence, is running against you. Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again. Calls you a consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second Defense Secretary is not supporting you. Called you irresponsible. Called your White House Chief of Staff John Kelly weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State Rex Tillerson dumb as a rock, and your first Defense Secretary James Mattis the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary Kayleigh Kennedy milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic.